Hello, welcome to the Steelyard. My name is Ben Filchak, and today I'm going to be talking to you about the Super Bead Roller. Lots of various dies and things that can go into this machine, and we're going to talk about a couple of them today. And if you've previously watched our video about using our hemming machine, we're going to show you how to flatten out those hems today using the Bead Roller. Super Bead Roller. Previously we folded these pieces of metal over, and now we want to flatten out that hem. Right now I have these two dies that are just flat on either side. You can see I can adjust them up and down utilizing this little T-screw. Up at the top are two lock nuts, so let's say we wanted to replicate a certain depth of a bead or some other die that we wanted consistency, we'd be able to find our spot and then lock that in place with these two lock nuts. Today, what I'm going to start with is I am just physically going to put my bend right in the middle of those dies, and I'm going to crank down, and I'm going to start to squeeze that metal. Once I've got the metal nice and squeezed in place, I have a hand crank over here, and what I like to do is I go slowly, using my foot for support on the base as some leverage, and then I push that metal through. I like to go through both ways, that way we know we get a nice even smush. But as you can see, that that bend turned into a beautiful hem on the edge of this metal, a nice rounded edge. I'll demonstrate again utilizing the tighter side. What I'll do is I will turn to the left to open up my dies, and then I will pinch or squish that metal between the two dies. Not going crazy, but still putting some pressure. And then I'll slowly roll that piece through. Again, I'll go through a second time just to really make sure we got it. So as you can see, I got a nice pinched hemmed edge and a nice rounded edge. These two radiuses are a little bit fat, but let's see if we can pinch them together. So again, to the left, I will open up my dies. I will begin to pinch or squish that metal. And then I will slowly begin to roll that through. Because these are two very thick bends in our metal, it might take a little bit. So it's not perfect, but we're actually able to pinch two pieces of metal using these flat dies. So in order to change our dies on this machine, there are set screws that are in these dies. What I like to do is I turn my die to the position where the set screws facing upwards. I utilize an Allen wrench, which is placed on a magnet on the machine. And then what I'm able to do is just slide it off. You can see there's a flat spot, almost like a little keyway to accept our set screw. So again, to get to the bottom die, what I like to do is I like to face the set screw towards me, loosen. There's that flat spot. Today I want to demonstrate just using the simple bead die in this bead roller. So you can see there are two parts to it that fit together. On each of these dies, they are marked with a number. So this is a 1/2 inch one. And the way I like to do it is I will get that bottom one, the flat spot facing me, with that set screw facing me. Sometimes you got to back the set screw out a little bit just to get it to slide on properly. Or clean it off a little. So that flat spot on that was facing me. I slip that die on, and then just finger tight. You like to make sure that this is open so that I can get my die on. Same thing, what I'll do though this time is I'll place that flat spot facing upwards. I will slide that die on with the set screw, also facing upwards. Again, I'm going to tighten it, but I'm not going to over tighten it. Now that we have our two dies on this machine, I don't specifically have a pattern or anything laid out here. I'm just going to show you what the tool does. But if you needed to, you could set out a line, you could set out a stop on this side that could ride this edge, different things to help keep you in line with whatever your design is. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to line the edge of my metal up with the edge of this die. So what I'll do is I'll find that middle point, I'll place my metal, and then I will begin to squeeze. So I can start to feel it squeeze. I'm going to give it a couple turns, really bite in there. And now once I've squeezed my metal, I'm going to follow the edge of my sheet metal along the edge of that die to try to create using my foot as some support and some leverage, to try to create a very consistent bead. So now, quite simply, we've created a nice bead in this metal. You can see it's actually curved the metal a little bit, which you could uncurve just by bending by hand. And you can also see on the end right here, it's not quite a full bead. So what I can do is I can line that back up and I can pass that through right on that edge. And I can help to finish that bead. It's a great way to put some structure in a flat piece of metal, some rigidity. And there are different size beads. Some are thinner, some are fatter. And now I'm going to demonstrate just a different style of bead. So this style right here simply kind of looks, kind of like a half round, like flat situation. The next style is going to look more like a step. So these are a different size, but they're the same type of die that I put in, but you can see they fit together in a way like this. They don't really work like this. This is a situation where we want to see them come together in this way. It's kind of like opposites. So again, what I've done is I've raised all the way up. I will utilize the edge of the die as my guide, and I will do the same thing. I'll find that center, and I'll begin to squeeze the metal. And with this style bead, the way that they're opposites, it kind of puts pressure to lift the metal up, but I'm going to put a little bit of pressure right here with my thumb as I squeeze that metal. And I'm going to get it, pretty tight, because I want a nice pronounced step, or a louver, if you will. And then I'm going to slowly crank that handle, following my edge. And as you can see, I've made, it's almost like a little step versus a nice round piece. So again, adds rigidity to the metal, a little bit of decoration.